I want you to watch me marry someone better. Derek's invitation had read. Vivian RSVP'd, yes. The wedding was at the Grandview Hotel, a $200,000 venue. The ceremony started. If anyone objects, Vivian stood up. I do. I'm the owner of this hotel, and this wedding is canceled. Derek laughed. You? Own this? Security walked in with her triplets in matching suits. Daddy? One of them said. Derek's new bride looked at the children's faces, then at Derek. Those kids look exactly like you. You told me you were infertile. Vivian smiled calmly. Surprise? Meet your children. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Mrs. Thompson, you have mail. Vivian looked up from her computer screen. Her assistant stood in the doorway, holding a stack of envelopes. Vivian smiled and waved her in. Thank you, Rachel. Just put it on my desk. Rachel walked across the office and set the mail down. She paused for a moment, looking at the top envelope. It was cream-colored and thick. Expensive paper. Rachel pointed at it. That one looks fancy. Maybe a wedding invitation? Vivian glanced at the envelope. She did not recognize the return address. Rachel left the office and closed the door behind her. Vivian returned to her computer. She was reviewing financial reports for her 15 hotels. Numbers filled the screen. Revenue was up 12% this quarter. The Boston location was doing especially well. The Philadelphia hotel needed some attention. Vivian made notes in her notebook. After 30 minutes, Vivian reached for her coffee cup. It was empty. She stood up and walked to the window. Her office was on the 42nd floor of a building in Manhattan. Below her, Central Park stretched out in green and brown colors. It was Tuesday afternoon. October was ending soon. The trees were losing their leaves. Vivian was 38 years old. She built Grandview hotels from nothing. 5 years ago, she had been broke and alone. Her ex-husband, Derek Miller, had divorced her. He told everyone she was lazy. He said she had no ambition. His lawyer made sure she got almost nothing in the divorce settlement. Derek wanted to punish her. He thought she wasted his time during their 7-year marriage. But Derek was wrong. Vivian took her small settlement and invested in real estate. She bought a struggling hotel in Boston. She fixed it up. She changed the management. Within 1 year, that hotel made money. Then she bought another hotel. Then another. Now she owned 15 hotels across the East Coast. She was worth $47 million. Vivian walked back to her desk. She sat down and looked at the mail. The cream-colored envelope sat on top. She picked it up. The paper felt thick and expensive between her fingers. She opened it carefully. Inside was a wedding invitation. Gold letters spelled out the details. Derek Miller and Ashley Chen were getting married. The wedding would be on Saturday, November 12th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was the Grandview Hotel in Manhattan. Vivian stopped breathing for a moment. The Grandview Hotel in Manhattan was her hotel, her flagship property. Derek did not know she owned it. Derek did not know anything about her life after the divorce. He had no idea she was successful. Vivian turned the invitation over. On the back, someone had written a message in black ink. She recognized Derek's handwriting immediately. The message said, "I want you to watch me marry someone better." Vivian read the message once, then twice, then a third time. She waited for tears to come. They did not. She waited to feel angry. She did not. Instead, she smiled. She set the invitation down on her desk and picked up her phone. She typed a message to the RSVP number on the invitation. "Yes, I will attend. Looking forward to it." She pressed send. Then Vivian called Robert Hayes. Robert was the manager of the Grandview Manhattan. He answered on the second ring. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Thompson. How can I help you?" "Robert, I need to ask you something. Do you have a wedding booking for November 12th? "Let me check." Vivian heard typing sounds. "Yes, we do. Derek Miller and Ashley Chen. 200 guests. Very expensive event." "Why do you ask?" "Derek Miller is my ex-husband." Silence on the other end of the phone. "Robert?" "I am here, Mrs. Thompson. I am just surprised. Does he know you own the hotel?" "No, he has no idea. I received a wedding invitation today. He wrote a cruel message on it. He wants me to watch him marry someone younger and prettier." "What do you want me to do? Should I cancel his reservation?" "No. Let the wedding proceed exactly as planned. Do not change anything. I will handle this personally." "Mrs. Thompson, what are you going to do?" "I am going to attend the wedding, Robert. And I am bringing my sons." Robert was quiet for a moment. He knew about Vivian's 3 sons. He knew Derek did not know they existed. "This is going to be very interesting," Robert said. "Yes, it is. I will call you next week with more details. For now, just make sure Derek's wedding planning goes smoothly." "Understood." Vivian ended the call. She looked at the invitation again. Derek thought he was going to humiliate her. He thought she would sit in the audience and watch him marry a beautiful 28-year-old woman. He thought she would feel small and worthless. Derek had no idea what was coming. Vivian packed her briefcase and left her office. She said goodbye to Rachel and took the elevator down to the parking garage. She got into her car and drove through Manhattan traffic. 40 minutes later, she pulled into the parking garage of her apartment building on the Upper East Side. She took the elevator up to the 12th floor. She unlocked her apartment door and walked inside. Immediately, she heard voices. Her 3 sons were in the kitchen. So was Patricia Reeves, their nanny. "Mom is home!" Jason shouted. 3 boys ran into the living room. Marcus, Jason, and Kevin were 5 years old. They were identical triplets. They had green eyes and brown hair. They looked exactly like Derek. Everyone who saw them could tell they were his sons. Vivian hugged each boy. She kissed their foreheads. They smelled like soap and cookies. "Did you have a good day at school?" Vivian asked. "Yes," Jason said. "We learned about dinosaurs." "I got a gold star on my math homework," Marcus said quietly. Kevin just hugged his mother tighter. He was the shy one. Patricia walked into the living room. She was 53 years old with gray hair and kind eyes. She had been with Vivian's family since the boys were babies. Patricia looked at Vivian's face and frowned. "Something happened today," Patricia said. It was not a question. Vivian nodded. "Can we talk after dinner?" "Of course." The boys ate dinner. Chicken, rice, and vegetables. Jason talked about dinosaurs. Marcus talked about his math test. Kevin drew pictures with crayons. After dinner, Vivian read them a story and put them to bed. Then she returned to the kitchen where Patricia was washing dishes. Vivian pulled the wedding invitation out of her briefcase. She handed it to Patricia. Patricia dried her hands and read it carefully. She turned it over and read Derek's message. Her face got hard. "That man is cruel," Patricia said. "Yes, he is. What are you going to do?" "I am going to attend the wedding. And I am bringing Marcus, Jason, and Kevin with me." Patricia looked shocked. "Are you sure the boys are ready to meet their father this way?" Vivian smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was a strong smile. "Derek wanted me to watch him celebrate. Now he will watch me reveal the truth." Patricia set the invitation down on the kitchen counter. She looked at Vivian for a long moment. "When will you tell the boys?" "Tomorrow morning. They need a good night of sleep first. And I need time to think about what to say." Patricia nodded. "Do you want me here when you tell them?" "Yes, please." Patricia hugged Vivian. Then she gathered her coat and purse. She lived 3 blocks away in a small apartment. She came every morning at 7 o'clock and left every evening at 8 o'clock. She had been doing this for 5 years. "Get some rest tonight," Patricia said. "Tomorrow will be difficult." After Patricia left, Vivian checked on the boys one more time. They were all asleep in their shared bedroom. Marcus slept on his back with his arms straight at his sides. Jason slept curled up like a ball. Kevin slept holding his blue blanket. Vivian watched them breathe. They looked so peaceful. She went to her own bedroom. She changed into pajamas and got into bed. She turned off the light. She closed her eyes. But sleep did not come. Vivian's mind went back to her marriage with Derek. They met when she was 26 years old. It was at a friend's birthday party in Manhattan. Derek wore an expensive suit. He smiled a lot. He told funny stories. Everyone liked him. Vivian thought he was charming. They dated for 6 months. Derek took her to nice restaurants. He bought her flowers. He said she was beautiful. He asked her to marry him at a fancy hotel. Vivian said yes. She thought she was lucky. The wedding was small. Just family and close friends. They had a honeymoon in the Bahamas. When they came back, they moved into Derek's apartment. Vivian looked for work, but Derek said she did not need to work. He said he made enough money for both of them. Vivian agreed. For the first year, things were good, but slowly Derek changed. Or maybe he did not change. Maybe he was always this way, and Vivian just did not see it. Vivian started noticing real estate opportunities. She read about a small hotel in Boston that was for sale. The price was low because the hotel needed repairs. Vivian did research. She made calculations. She showed Derek her plan. She explained how they could buy the hotel, fix it up, and make money. Derek laughed. "Vivian, you do not understand how business works. That hotel is a waste of money." "But I did the math. Look at these numbers." "Leave the thinking to me. You just worry about keeping the house nice." Vivian felt hurt, but she told herself Derek knew better. He was the one with business experience. 6 months later, someone else bought that Boston hotel. They fixed it up. Within a year, it was very profitable. Vivian saw an article about it in the newspaper. She showed Derek, "Look, that hotel I wanted to buy. Someone else bought it and made it successful. We could have done that." Derek barely looked at the article. "You got lucky with one guess. That does not make you a business expert." This happened again and again. Vivian would see opportunities. She would research them. She would make plans. Derek would dismiss her ideas. He would tell her she did not understand the real world. After 7 years of this, Vivian started to believe him. She thought maybe she really was not smart about business. Then Derek asked for a divorce. He said Vivian was boring. He said she had no ambition. He said he needed a partner who challenged him. Vivian was confused. Every time she tried to challenge him or share ideas, he shut her down. But Derek did not see it that way. His lawyer fought to give Vivian the smallest settlement possible. Derek told his friends that Vivian had been deadweight during the marriage. Vivian cried for 2 weeks after the divorce. Then she stopped crying, and she looked at her bank account. She had $83,000 from the settlement. It was not much, but it was something. She thought about that Boston hotel. She thought about all her ideas that Derek dismissed. She decided to trust herself. She found a struggling hotel in Boston. The owner wanted to sell quickly. Vivian offered $75,000. The owner accepted. Vivian spent the remaining $8,000 on immediate repairs. She worked 18 hours a day for 6 months. She learned everything about running a hotel. And slowly, the hotel started making money. That was 5 years ago. Now Vivian owned 15 hotels. Derek had no idea. Vivian opened her eyes. Her bedroom was dark. She looked at the clock on her nightstand. It was 2:30 in the morning. She had been lying in bed for 4 hours. She still was not asleep. She got up and went to the kitchen. She made tea. She sat at the kitchen table and thought about what she would say to her sons in the morning. How do you tell 5-year-old boys that their father does not know they exist? How do you explain that their father is getting married and you are going to crash the wedding? Vivian drank her tea slowly. She watched the sky outside the window change from black to dark blue to light blue. At 6 o'clock, she heard small footsteps. Kevin walked into the kitchen. He was holding his blue blanket. His hair stuck up in different directions. "Good morning, sweetie," Vivian said. "Morning, Mommy. Why are you awake so early?" "I was thinking about something important. Are you hungry?" Kevin nodded. Vivian made pancakes. Soon Marcus and Jason woke up too. They came to the kitchen in their pajamas. Vivian made more pancakes. The boys ate and talked about school. They had a spelling test today. Jason was nervous about it. At 7 o'clock, Patricia arrived. She looked at Vivian's face, and he knew Vivian had not slept. Patricia made coffee. The boys finished breakfast and went to brush their teeth. "Are you going to tell them now?" Patricia asked quietly. "After school. I want them to have a normal morning first." But Marcus came back into the kitchen. He looked at his mother carefully. Marcus was always the most observant of the 3 boys. "Mom, what is wrong? You look worried." Vivian glanced at Patricia. Patricia nodded. "Marcus, can you get your brothers? I need to talk to all 3 of you about something important." Marcus's eyes got wide. "Are we in trouble?" "No, sweetie, you are not in trouble. Just get Jason and Kevin, please." Marcus ran to get his brothers. Soon, all 3 boys sat at the kitchen table. They looked at their mother with serious faces. Patricia stood near the counter. Vivian took a deep breath. "Boys, I need to talk to you about your father." The room got very quiet. The boys had asked about their father before. Vivian always told them their daddy was not ready to be a parent. She said maybe someday they would meet him. The boys accepted this answer, but now they looked nervous. "What about him?" Marcus asked. "Your father's name is Derek Miller. He lives in Manhattan. He is a real estate agent." "Does he know about us?" Jason asked. Vivian felt her throat get tight. "No, he does not know about you." Kevin's eyes filled with tears. "Why not?" "When your father and I got divorced, I was pregnant with you 3. But I did not tell him. He was not kind to me during our marriage. I did not think he would be a good father. So I decided to raise you by myself." Marcus stared at his mother. "Are we going to meet him?" "Yes, soon. He is getting married in a few weeks. We are going to attend his wedding. You will meet him there." "Are we going to live with him now?" Marcus asked. His voice shook a little. "No, sweetie. You will keep living here with me. This is your home, but you will meet your father, and then he will know you exist. After that, maybe he will want to spend time with you sometimes. We will see what happens." Kevin started crying. Patricia walked over and put her hand on his shoulder. "It is okay to feel scared, Kevin," Patricia said gently. "What if he does not want to be our daddy?" Kevin asked through his tears. Vivian's heart felt like it was breaking. Vivian knelt down beside Kevin's chair. She wiped his tears with her hand. "Kevin, listen to me. If your father does not want to be your daddy, that is his loss, not yours. You are wonderful. All 3 of you are wonderful. You are smart and kind and brave. Any father would be lucky to know you." Kevin sniffled. "But what if he is mean to us?" "Then I will protect you. I promise. He will never hurt you." Marcus looked at his mother. "Mom, why are we going to his wedding if he was not kind to you?" Vivian sat back on her heels. How could she explain this to a 5-year-old? Your father sent me an invitation. He wrote a message on it. He wanted to make me feel bad. But I am not going to feel bad. I am going to show him the truth. The truth is that I am successful and strong. And the truth is that he has 3 amazing sons. He needs to know these things. Jason was quiet. Then he asked, "Will there be cake at the wedding?" Vivian laughed. Leave it to Jason to think about cake at a time like this. Yes, there will probably be cake. Then it will be okay, Jason said. Weddings with cake are always okay. Patricia smiled. Kevin stopped crying. Marcus still looked worried, but he nodded. Can we go to school now? Marcus asked. Yes. Go get your backpacks. The boys ran to their room. Patricia looked at Vivian. You handled that well. I hope so. They are so young. This is a lot for them to understand. They are stronger than you think, just like their mother. Vivian stood up. Her knees hurt from kneeling. She was tired, but there was no time to rest. She had 2 weeks to prepare for Derek's wedding, 2 weeks to plan how she would reveal the truth. After Patricia took the boys to school, Vivian went to her office. She called Robert Hayes. Robert, we need to meet. Can you come to my office today? I can be there in 1 hour. Robert arrived exactly 1 hour later. He sat in the chair across from Vivian's desk. He was 45 years old with gray hair and glasses. He had worked for Vivian for 3 years. He was loyal and trustworthy. Tell me everything about Derek's wedding plans, Vivian said. Robert opened a folder. He has been very demanding. He wants white roses everywhere. He wants them imported from Ecuador. He wants a 10-tier cake with real gold leaf. He wants a band that usually performs at celebrity events. The band costs $50,000 alone. How much is the total cost? Over $200,000. Vivian shook her head. Derek was spending a fortune to impress people. That was so typical of him. Has he mentioned me? Vivian asked. Yes, several times. He tells everyone his pathetic ex-wife is coming to the wedding. He says you will see what real success looks like. He laughs when he says it. Vivian felt anger rise in her chest, but she kept her voice calm. Let him laugh. Continue with all his plans. Give him everything he asks for. Make sure the wedding looks perfect. Are you sure? I could make small problems happen. Delay the flowers. Mess up the cake order. No, I want everything to be flawless. When I reveal the truth, I want there to be no distractions. Everyone will be focused on what I have to say. Robert smiled. This is going to be memorable. Yes, it is. After Robert left, Vivian called Jennifer Walsh. Jennifer was her lawyer. She had helped Vivian with all her business contracts. She was smart and direct. Vivian trusted her completely. Jennifer, I need your help with a personal matter. Of course. What is it? Vivian explained the situation. She told Jennifer about the wedding invitation. She told Jennifer about her plan to reveal the triplets. Jennifer was quiet for a long moment. Vivian, this could get complicated. Derek might demand custody once he knows about the boys. He abandoned me. He never asked if I was pregnant. He has no rights. Legally, he does have rights. He is their biological father. A court might grant him visitation, or more. Vivian felt cold. What should I do? Bring me evidence. Do you have emails or text messages from your marriage? Anything showing he was cruel or dismissive? Yes, I saved everything. Good, bring them to my office tomorrow. I will build a case showing you are the primary caregiver. We will show you supported the boys financially and emotionally for 5 years. We will show Derek made no effort to be part of their lives. What if he fights for custody? Then we fight back. But Vivian, you have all the power here. You raised 3 children alone while building a successful business. You are an excellent mother. No judge will take those boys from you." Vivian felt relief. "Thank you, Jennifer. We will meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Bring all the evidence you have." After hanging up, Vivian looked at the calendar on her desk. 2 weeks until the wedding. 14 days to prepare. She made a list of things to do. Number 1, buy suits for the boys. Number 2, choose her own outfit. Number 3, meet with Jennifer. Number 4, practice what to say at the wedding. That evening, Vivian told Patricia they were going shopping on Saturday. The boys needed new suits. Patricia agreed to come along. She was good at keeping the boys calm in stores. Saturday morning arrived. Vivian, Patricia, and the 3 boys took a taxi to a children's clothing store in Manhattan. The store was large and bright. Clothes in every color filled the racks. A saleswoman approached them. "Can I help you find something? We need 3 suits for boys, matching, something formal." "We have several options. What is the occasion?" "A wedding," Vivian said. The saleswoman showed them different suits. Black, gray, navy blue. The boys tried on several. Jason complained that the pants were itchy. Kevin said the jacket was too stiff. Marcus stood still and let the saleswoman measure him without complaining. Finally, they found the right suits. Navy blue with white shirts. The boys looked at themselves in the mirror. They looked so grown up. They looked like little businessmen. "Do we look handsome, Mom?" Kevin asked. "You look perfect." Vivian bought the suits. She also bought new dress shoes for each boy. Black leather shoes that needed to be shined. The total cost was $800. Vivian paid without hesitating. On the way home, Jason asked, "When do we wear the new suits?" "In 1 week? Next Saturday." "At our father's wedding?" "Yes." The boys got quiet. Vivian could tell they were thinking about Derek. They were nervous. She was nervous, too. That night, after the boys were asleep, Patricia came to Vivian's bedroom. She held several dresses on hangers. "I brought these from my daughter's closet. She is about your size. Try them on." Vivian tried on 5 different dresses. A red one, a black one, a green one, a gray one, a navy blue one. The navy blue dress was simple and elegant. It matched the boys' suits. Vivian stood in front of her bedroom mirror. She looked strong. She looked confident. "That one?" Patricia said. "That is the one." "You think so?" "Yes, you look powerful. Derek will see you and know he made a mistake." Vivian practiced her speech. She stood in front of the mirror and said the words out loud. "I object. I am Vivian Thompson. I own this hotel. I own the entire Grandview chain. And Derek, this wedding is over." Patricia listened. "That is good, but say it louder. You need everyone to hear you." Vivian tried again, louder this time. Her voice filled the bedroom. "Better," Patricia said. "Practice it every day. By next Saturday, you will be ready." The week passed quickly. Vivian met with Jennifer and gave her printed emails from Derek. Emails where he called Vivian stupid. Emails where he said she had no value. Jennifer read them and made notes. She said this evidence would protect Vivian in any custody battle. Vivian worked at her office during the day. At night, she spent time with the boys. She read them stories. She helped with homework. She tried to keep everything normal. But the boys knew something big was coming. They asked questions constantly. "Will our father like us? What should we call him? Can we come home if we get scared?" Vivian answered every question patiently. She promised them they were safe. She promised they could come home whenever they wanted. She promised nothing would change their family. Friday night arrived. The wedding was tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Vivian could not eat dinner. Her stomach felt tight. The boys noticed. "Mom, are you okay?" Marcus asked. "I am just thinking about tomorrow." "Are you scared?" Vivian looked at her son. His green eyes watched her carefully. Derek's eyes. "A little bit. But sometimes being scared means you are about to do something very important." Marcus nodded. He seemed to understand. After dinner, Vivian gave the boys their baths. She read them extra stories. She tucked them into bed. Kevin held her hand. "I love you, Mommy." "I love you too, Kevin." "Will you still love us after we meet our father?" Vivian felt tears in her eyes. "I will always love you. Nothing will ever change that. You are my sons. Forever." Kevin smiled and closed his eyes. Soon, all three boys were asleep. Vivian sat in their bedroom doorway and watched them breathe. Tomorrow, their lives would change. Tomorrow, Derek would learn the truth. Tomorrow, everything would be different. Patricia found Vivian sitting in the hallway. "Come on, you need rest. Tomorrow is a big day." "Patricia, am I doing the right thing?" "Yes. Derek needs to face what he did, and those boys deserve to know their father, even if their father is not a good man." Vivian stood up. She went to her bedroom. She set her alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning. She turned off the light. She lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, she would walk into that ballroom. She would stand up during the ceremony. She would speak the truth. And Derek's perfect wedding would fall apart. Vivian closed her eyes. This time, sleep came. The alarm went off at 8 o'clock in the morning. Vivian opened her eyes. For a moment, she forgot what day it was. Then she remembered. Today was Saturday, November 12th. Today was Derek's wedding. Vivian got out of bed. She walked to the bathroom and looked at herself in the mirror. Her hair was messy. Her eyes had dark circles under them. She had slept, but not well. She turned on the shower and stood under the hot water for a long time. When she came out, she heard voices in the kitchen. The boys were awake. She put on jeans and a t-shirt. She would put on her navy dress later. Right now, she needed to make breakfast and keep the boys calm. Marcus, Jason, and Kevin sat at the kitchen table eating cereal. Patricia was making coffee. Everyone looked up when Vivian walked in. "Good morning," Vivian said. Her voice sounded more cheerful than she felt. "Morning, Mom," the boys said together. "Are you feeling better?" Marcus asked. "Yes, sweetie. I am fine." Jason swung his legs under his chair. "Do we put on our new suits now?" "Not yet. After lunch. We will leave for the wedding at 2 o'clock. Kevin looked worried. He had barely touched his cereal. Patricia noticed and sat down next to him. "Kevin, you need to eat breakfast. You will need energy today." "I am not hungry." "Are you feeling nervous?" Patricia asked. Kevin nodded. Vivian sat down on his other side. "It is okay to be nervous. I am nervous too." "Really?" Kevin looked at his mother with wide eyes. "Really, but we will be together. All of us. Me, you, Marcus, Jason, and Miss Patricia. We will be a team. What if I want to leave? Then we will leave, I promise." Kevin picked up his spoon and ate a small bite of cereal. Vivian felt relieved. Across Manhattan, in a different apartment, Derek Miller woke up. He stretched and smiled. Today was his wedding day. Today he would marry Ashley Chen. Today he would show everyone how successful he was, and his pathetic ex-wife would be there to watch. Derek got out of bed and went to the bathroom. He shaved carefully. He styled his hair with expensive gel. He brushed his teeth twice. He wanted to look perfect. He went to his closet and looked at his wedding suit. It was dark gray and custom-made. It cost $5,000. Derek put on the pants and the white shirt. He looked at himself in the mirror. He looked good. He looked like a winner. His phone buzzed. It was a text message from Craig Foster, his best man. "Ready for the big day?" Derek typed back, "More than ready. My ex-wife is coming. This is going to be hilarious." "Why did you invite her?" "I want her to see what she lost. I want her to see me marry someone younger and hotter." "You are evil, man. I am a genius." Derek laughed and put down his phone. He finished getting dressed. He put on the jacket. He adjusted his tie. He put on his Italian leather shoes. He looked at himself one more time. Perfect. In Queens, Ashley Chen sat in her childhood bedroom. Her wedding dress hung on the closet door. It was white and covered in lace. It had cost $30,000. Her parents paid for it. They wanted their daughter to have a beautiful wedding. Ashley's mother, Linda Chen, knocked on the door. "Can I come in?" "Yes, Mom." Linda entered carrying a cup of tea. She handed it to Ashley. "How are you feeling?" "Nervous, excited, happy." Linda sat on the bed. "Are you sure about Derek?" "Mom, we talked about this." "I know, but he invited his ex-wife to your wedding. That is strange." "He wants closure. I understand." Linda looked unconvinced. "If you say so." Ashley's father, Michael Chen, appeared in the doorway. He wore a dark suit. He smiled at his daughter. "You ready to become Mrs. Miller?" "Yes, Dad." "Then let us get you into that dress." Linda helped Ashley put on the wedding dress. It took 15 minutes. There were many buttons and layers. When they finished, Ashley looked at herself in the mirror. She looked beautiful. She looked like a bride. She smiled. At the Grandview Hotel, Robert Hayes arrived at 9 o'clock in the morning. He went straight to the ballroom. Workers were already there. They were setting up chairs. They were hanging white roses everywhere. The roses came from Ecuador. They cost $20,000. Robert walked through the ballroom checking everything. The chairs were in perfect rows. 200 chairs. The altar was set up at the front. White fabric covered it. More roses decorated the altar. The cake table was ready. The 10-tier cake would arrive at 1 o'clock. The band was setting up their equipment on the stage. Everything looked perfect. Robert felt strange knowing what would happen today. This beautiful wedding would not finish. Vivian would stop it. Derek would learn about his sons. Everything would fall apart. Robert's phone rang. It was Vivian. "How does everything look?" she asked. "Perfect. Derek will have no complaints." "Good. I will arrive at 2 o'clock. I need a private room for me and the boys. I already prepared one. Room 212. It is quiet and private. I will meet you there." "Thank you, Robert." "Mrs. Thompson, are you certain about this plan?" "Yes, I am certain." Robert hung up. He continued checking the ballroom. Workers brought in more flowers. The room smelled sweet. It looked elegant and expensive. Derek had spent a fortune, and in a few hours it would all be ruined. Back at Vivian's apartment, the morning passed slowly. The boys played with toys. Patricia cleaned the kitchen. Vivian tried to read a book, but could not focus. She kept looking at the clock. 11 o'clock. 11:30. 12 o'clock. At 12:30, Patricia made sandwiches for lunch. The boys ate. Vivian could not eat. Her stomach felt tight. At 1 o'clock, Patricia said, "Time to get dressed." The boys went to their bedroom. Patricia helped them put on their navy suits. She buttoned their white shirts. She tied their ties. She put on their new shoes and made sure the laces were tied perfectly. She combed their hair. The boys looked at themselves in the mirror. "We look fancy," Jason said. Very fancy, Marcus agreed. Kevin tugged at his collar. This is uncomfortable. You will get used to it, Patricia said. Vivian went to her bedroom and put on the navy dress. She put on simple black shoes. She brushed her hair and pulled it back. She put on small earrings. She looked at herself in the mirror. She looked calm and professional. She did not look like the broken woman Derek had divorced 5 years ago. She looked strong. Patricia knocked on the door. Ready? Almost. Vivian opened her drawer and took out the wedding invitation. She looked at Derek's message one more time. I want you to watch me marry someone better. She folded the invitation and put it in her purse. Then she walked out of the bedroom. The boys stood in the hallway. They looked nervous and handsome. Patricia stood with them. She wore a gray dress and carried a large purse. Everyone ready? Vivian asked. The boys nodded. They walked downstairs and got into a car. Vivian had hired a driver for today. She did not want to worry about parking. The driver took them through Manhattan. Traffic was heavy. It took 40 minutes to reach the Grandview Hotel. They arrived at exactly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The hotel looked grand. People in fancy clothes were entering through the front doors. Vivian led her boys through a side entrance. Robert Hayes was waiting. Follow me, he said quietly. They took an elevator to the second floor. Robert opened the door to room 212. It was a small conference room with a table and chairs. There was a small refrigerator with drinks and snacks. The ceremony starts at 3 o'clock, Robert said. I will come get you at 2:50. Thank you, Robert. Robert left. Vivian, Patricia, and the boys were alone. The boys sat in chairs. Patricia opened the refrigerator and gave them juice boxes. Jason drank his quickly. Marcus sipped slowly. Kevin held his, but did not drink. The minutes passed. 2:15, 2:30, iron, 2:45. Vivian's phone buzzed. She looked at it. A text message from Derek. Glad you could make it. Enjoy the show. Vivian stared at the message. Her hands shook. She put the phone back in her purse. She took a deep breath. Patricia watched her. Are you okay? Yes, I am okay. At 2:50, Robert knocked on the door. He opened it slowly. It is time. The ceremony is about to start. Patricia stood up. She straightened the boys' ties one more time. She smoothed their hair. Vivian stood and picked up her purse. The boys stood too. They looked at their mother. Patricia asked quietly, Are you absolutely sure you want to do this? Vivian took Marcus's hand. She took Kevin's hand. Jason stood between Patricia and his brothers. Vivian looked at her 3 sons. Then she looked at Patricia. It is time. Robert led them down the hallway. They could hear music coming from the ballroom. Vivian's heart beat fast. The boys held her hands tightly. Patricia walked behind them carrying her purse. Inside the purse were tissues and water bottles. She knew the boys might need them. They reached the ballroom doors. Robert opened one door slowly. The music was louder now. Vivian could see inside. The room was full of people. Everyone was sitting. White roses covered every surface. The room looked beautiful and expensive. Wait here one moment, Robert whispered. I will signal when you can enter. Robert walked inside. He moved along the back wall. He checked something with a hotel staff member. Then he nodded at Vivian. Vivian entered the ballroom. She walked quietly. Patricia and the boys followed her. They moved to the back row. There were empty seats there. They sat down. Vivian sat on the aisle. Marcus sat next to her. Then Jason. Then Kevin. Patricia sat at the end next to Kevin. People turned to look at them. They saw a woman in a navy dress with 3 young boys in matching suits. Then they turned back to face the front. Nobody recognized Vivian. She looked different from 5 years ago. Her hair was different. Her face was thinner. She looked confident. At the front of the ballroom, Derek stood at the altar. He wore his expensive gray suit. His best man, Craig Foster, stood next to him. Derek kept looking at the doors. He was waiting to see Vivian arrive. Then he saw her. She was sitting in the back row. Derek smiled. He leaned close to Craig and whispered something. Craig looked back at Vivian. He smiled too. Derek felt happy. His plan was working. Vivian had come to watch him get married. She would see how successful he was. She would see his beautiful young wife. She would feel small and worthless. Derek thought this was the perfect revenge. Music started playing. Everyone stood up. The doors at the back opened. Ashley walked down the aisle. She held her father's arm. Her white dress looked beautiful. The lace caught the light. Her veil was long and delicate. Michael Chen walked slowly, matching his daughter's pace. Ashley reached the altar. Michael kissed her cheek. He shook Derek's hand. Then he sat down next to his wife Linda in the front row. Ashley stepped up to the altar. She stood facing Derek. She was smiling. She looked happy. Reverend James Carter stood between them. He was a tall man with gray hair. He wore black robes. He opened a small book and began to speak. "We are gathered here today to witness the marriage of Derek Miller and Ashley Chen. Marriage is a sacred bond. It is a promise between two people to love and support each other." Vivian watched from the back row. She saw Derek smiling. She saw Ashley looking at him with love. She felt sorry for Ashley. Ashley did not know who Derek really was. Ashley thought she was marrying a good man. Marcus whispered, "Mom, which one is our father?" "The man on the left, the one in the gray suit." Marcus stared at Derek. "He looks tall." "Yes, he is tall." Kevin leaned forward to see. "That is our daddy?" "Yes, sweetie." The ceremony continued. Reverend Carter talked about commitment and faithfulness. He talked about building a life together. Then he asked Derek and Ashley to face each other and hold hands. Derek took Ashley's hands. He looked into her eyes. Reverend Carter said, "Derek, please say your vows." Derek spoke clearly. "Ashley, I promise to love you forever. I promise to support you in everything you do. I promise to be faithful and honest. You are my future. You are my happiness." Ashley's eyes filled with tears. Happy tears. Reverend Carter turned to Ashley. "Ashley, please say your vows." "Derek, I promise to stand by you through good times and bad times. I promise to love you and respect you. You are my partner. You are my best friend." In the front row, Susan Miller wiped her eyes with a tissue. She thought her son was getting married to a wonderful woman. Richard Miller sat with his hands folded. He looked proud. Reverend Carter spoke again. "Marriage is a serious commitment. It should not be entered into lightly." He paused. Then he said the traditional words, "If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace." The room became completely silent. 200 people sat still. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. This part of the ceremony always made people nervous. But nobody ever actually objected. Then Vivian stood up. Her chair scraped against the floor. The sound was loud in the silent room. Every person turned to look at her. 200 faces stared at the woman in the back row. Derek saw her standing. His smile got bigger. He thought Vivian was going to make a fool of herself. He thought she might cry or beg him to come back. He was ready to enjoy her humiliation. Vivian's voice was clear and calm. "I object." People gasped. They started whispering to each other. Derek laughed out loud. The sound echoed in the ballroom. Ashley looked confused. She stared at Vivian. She did not know who this woman was. Vivian continued speaking. Her voice was strong. Everyone could hear her clearly. I am Vivian Thompson. I own this hotel. I own the entire Grandview chain. And Derek, this wedding is over. The whispering got louder. Derek's smile disappeared. His face showed confusion, then anger, then something else. Fear. He stared at Vivian. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Ashley grabbed Derek's arm. Her fingers dug into his suit jacket. She whispered urgently, "Who is she? What is she talking about?" Derek could not answer. He was staring at the ballroom doors. They were opening. Robert Hayes walked through. Behind him were 6 security guards. They wore dark suits and serious expressions. They walked down the side of the ballroom and stood at attention. But that was not what made Derek's face turn white. Behind the security guards came Patricia. She walked slowly and calmly. She held the hands of 2 small boys. A third boy walked between them. The 3 boys wore matching navy suits. Their hair was combed perfectly. Their shoes were shined. They walked down the aisle looking straight ahead. The guests started standing up. They wanted to see better. They wanted to see who these children were. As the boys walked closer to the front, people started noticing something. They started whispering louder. "Those boys look like the groom. Do you see their eyes? They have his nose. Who are they?" Susan Miller stood up from her seat in the front row. She turned to look at the 3 boys. Her hand flew to her mouth. Her eyes went wide. She saw Derek's face in those 3 small boys. She saw her own features. She saw her husband's features. She knew immediately who they were. Richard stood up too. He stared at the boys. His expression showed complete shock. His lawyer mind was already putting pieces together. Derek had a first wife. These boys looked like Derek. These boys were about 5 years old. Derek divorced his first wife 5 years ago. The boys reached the altar. They stopped 3 feet away from Derek. They looked up at him. Derek looked down at them. His face had no color. His hands shook. He opened his mouth. He closed it. He opened it again. No words came out. Marcus was the bravest of the 3 brothers. He had promised himself he would be strong for his mother. He took 1 small step forward. He looked directly at Derek's face. He saw the green eyes, the same eyes he saw every day in the mirror, the same eyes his brothers had. Marcus spoke 1 word. His voice was clear. Everyone in the ballroom heard it. "Daddy?" The room erupted. People gasped. Some people screamed. Everyone started talking at once. Phones came out of pockets and purses. People started taking photos. They started recording videos. Ashley made a choking sound. She stared at the 3 boys. She counted them. 1, 2, 3. 3 identical boys, all with Derek's face, all looking at Derek and calling him Daddy. She looked at Derek. Her face showed betrayal and horror. Her voice came out loud and shaking. "Derek, who are these children?" Derek still could not speak. He looked at the boys. He looked at Vivian. She was walking down the aisle now. She moved slowly and calmly. She reached the altar and stood behind her sons. She placed 1 hand on Marcus's shoulder, 1 hand on Kevin's shoulder. Jason stood in the middle. Vivian spoke. Her voice filled the entire ballroom. "Derek, meet Marcus, Jason, and Kevin. They are 5 years old. They are your sons. Our sons. I was pregnant when you divorced me. You never asked. You never cared." Ashley's hands dropped from Derek's arm. She stepped back. She stared at the 3 boys. She looked at their faces carefully. The green eyes, the nose, the shape of their faces. They looked exactly like Derek. There was no doubt. These were his children. Ashley's voice came out as a scream. "You told me you were infertile. You said we could never have children. You said that was why your first marriage failed." Derek finally found his voice. "Ashley, I can explain. I did not know about them. She never told me. You have 3 sons. 3! They are 5 years old." Ashley's voice got louder. "You lied to me!" People in the audience were standing now. Everyone wanted to see better. Everyone wanted to hear everything. Phones were everywhere. People recorded videos from every angle. This was the most shocking wedding anyone had ever seen. Susan Miller could not look away from the 3 boys. Tears started running down her face. She had always wanted grandchildren. Derek told her he could not have kids. He said it was a medical problem. She believed him. She accepted it. She thought she would never be a grandmother. But now 3 little boys stood at the altar. 3 little boys with her son's face. 3 grandsons, 5 years old. 5 years of birthdays she missed. 5 Christmases. 5 first days of school. All gone. Susan walked forward. Her legs shook. She moved past the other guests in her row. She walked to the front. She stopped in front of Marcus, Jason, and Kevin. Then she knelt down. Her knees hit the floor. She did not care about her expensive dress. She looked at each boy's face. She saw Derek. She saw Richard. She saw herself. These were her grandsons. Her hands shook. She reached out slowly. Then she stopped. She did not want to scare them. Susan's voice broke. "I have grandsons?" The boys looked at their mother. Vivian nodded. It was okay to answer. Marcus spoke. He was always the brave one. "Hello, ma'am." Susan started crying harder. She wanted to hug them. She wanted to hold them. But they did not know her. They looked scared. She kept her hands in her lap. Richard Miller stood up. He walked to where Susan knelt. He stood behind his wife. He looked at the 3 boys. Then he looked at Derek. His face showed anger and disappointment. Richard was a lawyer. He understood what happened. Derek got Vivian pregnant. Derek divorced her. Derek never checked if there were children. Derek lied to everyone. Richard's voice was cold. "What have you done?" Derek tried to speak. "Dad, I did not know. She never told me she was pregnant." "Did you ask?" "What?" "Did you ask if she was pregnant? Did you ask if there were children? Did you care at all?" Derek had no answer. His mouth opened and closed. He looked like he was drowning. Ashley was crying now. Tears ran down her face. Her makeup was ruining. Black lines streaked her cheeks. She reached behind her neck. She unclasped her necklace. Then she pulled her engagement ring off her finger. The diamond was 3 carats. It had cost Derek $40,000. Ashley looked at the ring for 1 second. Then she threw it at Derek. The ring hit his chest. It bounced off and fell on the floor. The sound of it hitting the ground was loud in the ballroom. "We are done. Forever. You are a liar." Ashley's voice was strong, even though she was crying. She turned and walked away from the altar. She walked down the aisle. Her white dress dragged behind her. Her father, Michael Chen, jumped up. He followed his daughter. Her mother, Linda Chen, followed. They caught up to Ashley at the ballroom doors. Linda put her arm around Ashley. They walked out together. Half of the guests stood up. They looked uncomfortable. They did not know what to do. This wedding was canceled. There was nothing more to see. They started moving toward the exits. They whispered to each other as they walked. "Did you see those boys? They look exactly like him. He had no idea. This is insane. Wait until I tell everyone about this." The other half of the guests stayed. They wanted to see what would happen next. They stood in their rows watching. Phones stayed out. Videos kept recording. By tonight, this wedding would be famous on the internet. Craig Foster, Derek's best man, backed away slowly. He moved toward the side door. He did not want to be part of this anymore. He did not want people to associate him with Derek's scandal. He slipped out quietly. The band members on the stage started packing their equipment. They had been paid to perform at a wedding. There was no wedding anymore. Their job was done. Vivian looked at Robert Hayes. He stood with the security guards near the wall. She walked over to him. The boys stayed where they were with Patricia. Patricia put her hands on their shoulders. Vivian spoke quietly to Robert, but her voice was clear. Please escort everyone out. The wedding is canceled. Issue full refunds to all vendors. Send the flowers to the children's hospital. Donate the food to the homeless shelter. Robert nodded. He understood. He turned to the security guards. Please begin clearing the ballroom. Ask everyone to leave politely. The security guards moved through the room. They spoke to guests in quiet voices. Excuse me, we need to ask you to leave now. Thank you for coming. People started filing out a ton. They looked back over their shoulders as they walked. They wanted to see everything until the last possible moment. Hotel staff appeared. They started removing chairs. They started taking down decorations. The beautiful wedding was being dismantled. White roses were gathered into boxes. The white fabric on the altar was folded. The room that had looked so perfect was being taken apart. Derek stood alone at the altar. His expensive suit looked wrinkled now. His hair was messy. He had touched it too many times with shaking hands. His perfect wedding day had become a nightmare. Everything was ruined. His engagement was broken. His reputation was destroyed. Everyone would know his story. Everyone would know he had 3 secret sons. Everyone would know he was a liar. Susan was still kneeling in front of the boys. She was still crying. Richard stood next to her. He put his hand on her shoulder. Susan, we should go talk to them properly. Not here, not now. Susan nodded, but she could not stop looking at the boys. Richard helped her stand up. Her knees hurt. Her dress was dirty from the floor. She did not care. Richard approached Vivian. Susan followed him. They stopped a few feet away. Richard spoke first. Mrs. Thompson, I apologize. We did not know about your sons. Derek never told us. Vivian looked at Derek's parents. Susan's face was wet with tears. Richard looked ashamed. These people did not hurt her. Derek hurt her. These people were innocent. I believe you, Vivian said. Susan stepped forward. Her voice shook. Please, can we meet them? Can we be part of their lives? I know we have no right to ask, but they are our grandsons. We missed 5 years. Please, do not let us miss more. Vivian felt her anger soften. These people wanted to know her sons. They were not cruel like Derek. They deserved a chance. You are welcome to meet your grandsons properly. Call my office next week. We can arrange supervised visits. Susan made a sound like a sob. She rushed forward and hugged Vivian. Thank you. Thank you for raising them. Thank you for being strong. Vivian stood stiff for a moment. Then she hugged Susan back. Susan was not her enemy. Derek finally walked toward them. His legs felt weak. He looked at Vivian. He looked at his sons. He tried to find words. Vivian, I did not know. If you had told me... Vivian cut him off. Her voice was sharp. You would have done what, Derek? Been a father? You were too busy being cruel. You wanted to humiliate me today. You wrote that message on the invitation. You wanted me to watch you marry someone better. Instead, you humiliated yourself. Derek's face turned red. People were still in the ballroom. They heard everything Vivian said. More phones came out, more videos recorded. Vivian continued, "My sons deserve better than you, but I will not keep them from knowing their father if they choose to have a relationship with you. That is their decision to make when they are older." Jason tugged on Vivian's dress. She looked down at him. He whispered, "Mom, can we go home now?" Vivian nodded. She took Marcus's hand. She took Kevin's hand. Jason walked between Patricia and his brothers. They moved toward the ballroom exit. Derek called after them, "Vivian, wait. Can I talk to them?" Vivian stopped. She turned around slowly. She looked at Derek. He looked broken. He looked scared. Good. "Not today, Derek. Today you need to think about what you have done. If you want to be a father, you will need to prove you have changed. Call my lawyer next week." Then Vivian walked out. Patricia and the boys followed. They walked through the hotel hallways. They walked through the lobby. They walked outside to where their car waited. The driver opened the door. They climbed inside. As the car pulled away from the Grandview Hotel, Kevin looked at his mother. "Is that man really our daddy?" Vivian pulled Kevin close. She kissed the top of his head. "He is your biological father, but being a real daddy is something he will have to earn." The car drove through Manhattan. The streets were busy with Saturday afternoon traffic. Inside the car, nobody spoke. The boys sat quietly. They looked out the windows. Marcus held his mother's hand. Kevin leaned against Patricia. Jason swung his feet back and forth. Patricia finally broke the silence. "You boys were very brave today." "I was scared," Kevin said quietly. "Being brave does not mean you are not scared. Being brave means you do it anyway." Marcus looked at his mother. "Mom, why did that lady throw her ring?" Vivian thought about how to explain this. That lady was going to marry Derek, but she did not know Derek had children. When she found out, she was very upset. She felt like Derek lied to her. "Did he lie to her?" Marcus asked. "Yes, he told her he could not have children, but he has 3 children. You 3. Jason spoke up. "Is she mad at us?" "No, sweetie, she is not mad at you. She is mad at Derek." "Why did Derek not know about us?" Marcus asked. He always asked the hardest questions. Vivian sighed. "When Derek and I got divorced, I was pregnant with you, but I did not tell him. I thought he would not be a good father. I wanted to protect you." "Did you do the right thing?" Marcus asked. "I do not know. I did what I thought was best." The car pulled up to their apartment building. They rode the elevator to the 12th floor. Vivian unlocked the door. The boys ran to their bedroom. They wanted to take off their uncomfortable suits. Vivian heard them talking and laughing. That was good. They seemed okay. Patricia made tea. Vivian sat at the kitchen table. She felt exhausted. The day had been so long. Patricia brought her a cup of hot tea. "You did it," Patricia said. "It is over." "No, it is just beginning. Derek knows about the boys now. He will want to see them. There will be lawyers and court dates. This is not over. But the hard part is done. He knows the truth. Everyone knows the truth." Vivian's phone started buzzing. She looked at it. Text messages. Dozens of them. She started reading. They were from people she had not talked to in years. Old friends from when she was married to Derek. People from their social circle. "Is it true? You have Derek's children? I saw a video from the wedding. I cannot believe it. You are amazing. Derek got what he deserved." Vivian put her phone down. She did not want to read more messages. She just wanted to rest. The boys came out of their bedroom wearing pajamas. It was only 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but Vivian did not care. Let them be comfortable. "Can we watch TV?" Jason asked. "Yes, 1 hour. The boys turned on the television. They found a cartoon show. They sat on the couch together. Vivian watched them. They looked normal. They looked happy. Maybe today had not hurt them too badly. Patricia stayed until 8 o'clock. She made dinner. The boys ate pasta and vegetables. Then Patricia went home. Vivian put the boys to bed early. They were tired. Kevin fell asleep first, then Jason. Marcus stayed awake a little longer. "Mom?" "Yes, Marcus?" "Is our life going to change now?" Vivian sat on the edge of his bed. "Maybe a little bit. Derek might want to spend time with you sometimes. But you will still live here. You will still go to the same school. Patricia will still be here. I will still be here. The important things will not change." "Okay." Marcus closed his eyes. "I love you, Mom." "I love you too, sweetheart." Vivian went to her bedroom. She took off her navy dress and hung it up. She put on pajamas. She got into bed. She expected to lie awake worrying, but instead, she fell asleep immediately. The next morning, Vivian woke up to her phone ringing. She looked at the screen. It was Robert Hayes. She answered, "Good morning, Robert." "Mrs. Thompson, have you been online this morning?" "No. Why?" "The wedding is everywhere. Videos from yesterday are on every social media site. Millions of people have watched them. The story is on news websites. Local news stations are covering it." Vivian sat up in bed. "What are they saying?" "They are calling it the wedding of the year. Some headlines say, 'Real estate agent's wedding ruined by secret triplets.' Others say, 'Ex-wife reveals truth at revenge wedding.' Everyone is talking about it." "What about my sons? Are people posting pictures of them?" "Yes. Their faces are in many of the videos." "I am sorry, Mrs. Thompson." Vivian felt cold. She did not want her sons to be famous. She did not want their faces all over the internet. "Thank you for telling me, Robert." Vivian hung up. She opened her laptop. She typed Derek's name into a search engine. Hundreds of results appeared. She clicked on the first video. It showed the moment she stood up at the wedding. It showed her speaking. It showed the boys walking down the aisle. It showed Marcus saying, "Daddy." The video had 15 million views. Vivian closed the laptop. She felt sick. But there was nothing she could do. The videos were already out there. The story was already spreading. She got out of bed and went to the kitchen. The boys were eating cereal. Patricia was there. She must have let herself in with her key. Patricia looked at Vivian. "You saw the news?" "Yes. It will blow over. In a few days, people will forget." "I hope so." Vivian's phone rang again. This time it was a number she did not recognize. She answered carefully. "Hello? Mrs. Thompson, this is Sarah Jenkins from Channel 7 News. We would like to interview you about your ex-husband's wedding. Would you be willing to talk to us?" "No, I have no comment." "We could offer you payment for an exclusive interview." I said no. "Please do not call this number again." Vivian hung up. Her phone rang immediately. Another reporter. She declined the call. Then another. And another. Finally, she turned off her phone. The boys noticed their mother looked upset. They stopped eating. "What is wrong, Mom?" Jason asked. "Nothing, sweetie. Everything is fine." But everything was not fine. Vivian's phone buzzed even though it was turned off. Text messages still came through. She looked at them. More reporters, more old friends, more strangers who somehow got her number. Then she saw one message that made her stop. It was from Derek's mother, Susan Miller. "Vivian, thank you for yesterday. Please call me when you are ready. I would love to meet my grandsons properly. My number is 5552346. Susan." Vivian stared at the message. Susan sounded kind. Susan sounded sincere. Maybe the boys should meet their grandmother. Maybe not all of Derek's family was bad. That afternoon, Patricia took the boys to the park. Vivian stayed home. She needed quiet time to think. She made herself lunch, but did not eat it. She sat on the couch and stared at the wall. Her phone rang. This time it was Jennifer Walsh, her lawyer. "Vivian, we need to talk." "What happened?" "Derek's lawyer called me this morning. Derek is requesting formal visitation rights with the boys." Vivian felt her stomach drop. "Already? The wedding was yesterday." "I know, but Derek is moving fast. He wants to see his sons. Legally, he has that right." "What do? We negotiate, we set up supervised visits, once a month for a few hours. We make sure Patricia is there to watch. We protect the boys." "What if Derek tries to take them?" "He will not win custody, Vivian. You have been their only parent for 5 years. You provide for them. You care for them. No judge will take them away. But Derek does have a right to know his children." Vivian felt tears in her eyes. "I do not want him near them." "I know. But we have to let him try. If he is a bad father, we document it. Then we can limit his access even more. But we have to give him a chance first. This is not fair. I know. But this is the law. Call me tomorrow. We will set up a meeting with Derek's lawyer. We will write up a visitation agreement." After Jennifer hung up, Vivian cried. She cried for her sons. She cried for herself. She cried because everything was changing and she could not stop it. When Patricia and the boys came home, Vivian wiped her eyes. She smiled at her sons. They told her about the park. They saw dogs and birds. They played on the swings. They seemed happy. They did not know their lives were about to change. That night, after the boys were asleep, Vivian called Susan Miller. The phone rang 3 times. "Hello? Susan, this is Vivian Thompson." "Oh, Vivian, thank you for calling. I was not sure you would. I wanted to talk about my sons. You asked to meet them." "Yes, please. Richard and I would love to meet them properly. We want to be part of their lives, if you will let us." Vivian made a decision. "You can visit next Saturday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My apartment. Patricia will be here. The visit will last 2 hours." "Thank you. Thank you so much." "Susan, there are rules. Derek cannot be there during this visit. This is for you and Richard only." "I understand. Derek will not be there, I promise. And please do not bring gifts. Not yet. Let the boys get to know you first." "Of course. Whatever you think is best." They said goodbye. Vivian hung up the phone. She felt nervous about the visit, but Susan seemed kind. The boys deserved to know their grandparents. The next morning, Vivian's phone was still full of messages from reporters. She deleted them all. She did not want to talk to anyone about the wedding. She just wanted to move forward. She went to her office on Monday morning. Rachel, her assistant, looked at her with wide eyes. "Mrs. Thompson, I saw the videos. Everyone saw the videos. Are you okay?" "I am fine, Rachel. Let us just focus on work today." But focusing on work was difficult. Vivian's phone rang constantly. More reporters, more interview requests. She stopped answering unknown numbers. Rachel started screening all her calls. At lunch, Robert Hayes called. "Mrs. Thompson, I have news about Derek." "What is it?" "He is losing clients. 3 of his biggest clients canceled their contracts this morning. They do not want to work with him after the wedding scandal." "That was fast." "The videos are everywhere. People think he is cruel and dishonest. His reputation is damaged." Vivian felt a small bit of satisfaction. Derek wanted to humiliate her. Instead, he humiliated himself. That week passed slowly. Vivian prepared the boys for their grandparents' visit. She showed them photos of Susan and Richard that she still had from her marriage. The boys studied the pictures carefully. "They look nice," Jason said. "They are your father's parents, your grandmother and grandfather." "Do they know how to play games?" Kevin asked. "I do not know. You can ask them on Saturday." Marcus looked worried. "What if they do not like us?" "They will love you. They already love you. They cried when they saw you at the wedding." On Friday afternoon, Vivian met with Jennifer Walsh and Derek's lawyer. Derek's lawyer was a man named Thomas Brennan. He was short and wore an expensive suit. He sat across from Vivian and Jennifer in a conference room. "My client wants regular visitation with his sons," Thomas said. "Your client did not know about his sons until 1 week ago," Jennifer replied. "We need to move slowly. Derek has legal rights as the father. Derek abandoned Vivian while she was pregnant. He made no effort to find out if there were children. He has no history with these boys." Thomas frowned. Derek did not know Vivian was pregnant. Because he did not ask. Because he did not care. They argued for an hour. Finally, they reached an agreement. Derek could see the boys once a month for 2 hours. The visits would be supervised by Patricia. The visits would happen in a public place like a park. After 6 months, they would review the arrangement. Vivian signed the papers. She felt sick. Derek would be part of her sons' lives now. There was no way to stop it. Saturday came. Vivian cleaned the apartment. Patricia arrived early to help. The boys wore nice clothes, but not their suits. Regular pants and shirts. Vivian wanted them to be comfortable. At exactly 2 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Vivian opened it. Susan and Richard Miller stood in the hallway. Susan held a small shopping bag. She saw Vivian looking at it. "I know you said no gifts, but I brought books. Just 3 books. Is that okay?" Vivian nodded. "Books are fine." Susan and Richard entered the apartment. The boys stood in the living room watching. They looked nervous. Susan walked slowly toward them. She knelt down like she did at the wedding. But this time she was smiling. "Hello, boys. I am your grandmother, Susan. This is your grandfather, Richard. We are very happy to meet you." Marcus stepped forward first. "Hello? What is your name?" "I am Marcus. That is Jason. That is Kevin." Susan smiled at each boy. "Those are wonderful names. Your mother chose well." Richard stepped forward. He did not kneel. He was too old for that. But he bent down slightly. "Hello, boys. You can call me Grandpa Richard if you want. Or just Richard. Whatever feels right." Jason looked at his mother. Vivian nodded. Jason turned back to Richard. "Do you like dinosaurs?" Richard laughed. "I do not know much about dinosaurs, but I would love to learn. Can you teach me?" Jason's face lit up. "Yes, I know everything about dinosaurs." Kevin stayed close to Vivian. He was shy. Susan noticed. She did not push him. She just smiled at him kindly. Vivian led everyone to the living room. They sat down. Susan gave the boys the books she brought. They were picture books about animals and space. The boys looked at them and said thank you. Patricia brought juice and cookies. The adults drank coffee. The boys ate cookies and talked about school. Marcus told them about his math class. Jason talked about dinosaurs. Kevin slowly warmed up. He showed Susan a drawing he made. "This is very good, Kevin. You are a talented artist." Kevin smiled. He moved a little closer to Susan. Susan looked at Vivian. "Can I ask them questions about their lives?" "Yes." Susan turned to the boys. "What do you like to do for fun?" "I like reading," Marcus said. "I like singing," Jason said. "I like drawing," Kevin said quietly. "Those are all wonderful things. Do you play any sports?" The boys shook their heads. Susan looked at Richard. Richard understood. "Maybe we could take you to a park sometime. We could kick a ball around. Would you like that?" Jason nodded enthusiastically. "Yes." The visit lasted 2 hours. Susan and Richard were kind and patient. They did not try to force the boys to hug them or call them Grandma and Grandpa. They just talked and listened. By the end, even Kevin was comfortable. He sat next to Susan and showed her more drawings. When it was time to leave, Susan stood up. She looked at Vivian. "Thank you for this. Thank you for letting us meet them. They deserve to know their grandparents. Can we visit again? Maybe in 2 weeks?" Vivian thought about it. "Yes, same time, but please keep Derek away." Susan's face fell. "Vivian, Derek wants to meet them too. He is their father. Derek will get his scheduled visits, but not here, not with you. The lawyer already arranged it." Richard put his hand on Susan's shoulder. "That is fair, Susan. We need to respect Vivian's rules." After Susan and Richard left, Patricia helped clean up. The boys went to their room to play. Patricia looked at Vivian. "That went well. They are nice people." "Yes, they are." "Do you think Derek will be as good with the boys?" "No. Derek will try to buy their love with expensive gifts. He will not know how to actually talk to them." Vivian's phone buzzed. She looked at it. A text message from an unknown number. But she recognized the writing style immediately. It was Derek. "I heard my parents met the boys today. When can I meet them? I am their father." Vivian wrote back, "Your lawyer has the visitation schedule. Follow it." Derek responded quickly, "Why are you being difficult? I deserve to know my sons. You had 5 years to ask if I was pregnant. You had 5 years to check if you had children. You chose not to. Now you follow my rules." Derek's next message was angry. "I am going back to court. I am getting full custody. You cannot keep my sons from me." Vivian felt her heart beat faster. She called Jennifer immediately. "Derek is threatening to take the boys." "He cannot. We have the agreement. He has no case. Do not respond to him anymore. Block his number. All communication goes through lawyers now." After hanging up, Vivian blocked Derek's number. She felt shaken. Derek was going to make this difficult. He was not going to accept the visitation schedule. He was going to fight for more time with the boys. Maybe fight for custody. Patricia saw Vivian's face. "What happened?" "Derek wants to take the boys. He cannot do that. He is going to try." That night, Vivian could not sleep again. She lay in bed thinking about custody battles and court dates. She thought about her sons being forced to spend time with Derek. She thought about Derek poisoning their minds against her. But then she remembered something Jennifer said. Derek has no history with these boys. Vivian did everything. She raised them, she fed them, she loved them. No judge would take that away from her. Vivian got out of bed. She went to the boys' bedroom. She watched them sleep. Marcus on his back. Jason curled up. Kevin holding his blanket. They were her sons. They would always be her sons. Derek could try to take them, but he would fail. Because Vivian had something Derek never had. She had love. The next morning was Sunday. Vivian woke up feeling tired, but determined. She made breakfast for the boys. They ate pancakes and talked about their visit with Susan and Richard. They seemed happy about having grandparents. "Grandma Susan was nice," Kevin said. "Grandpa Richard said he would teach me about sports," Jason said. Marcus was quiet. He ate his pancakes slowly. Finally, he spoke. "Mom, when do we meet our father?" Vivian had been expecting this question. "In 2 weeks, on a Saturday. You will meet him at a park. Miss Patricia will be there with you." "Will you be there?" Marcus asked. "No, just you, your brothers, and Patricia. And Derek." "Why not you?" "Because Derek and I do not get along well. "It is better if I stay home." Marcus nodded. He understood more than his brothers did. He saw the tension between his parents at the wedding. He knew something was wrong. The next 2 weeks passed quickly. Videos from the wedding slowly disappeared from social media. People found new stories to talk about. Vivian stopped getting calls from reporters. Life started feeling normal again. But Derek's life was not normal. He lost more clients. People did not want to work with him. They did not trust him. His income dropped. He could not afford his expensive apartment anymore. He had to move to a smaller place in Brooklyn. His BMW was too expensive. He sold it and bought a regular car. His fancy clothes stayed in his closet. He had no reason to wear them anymore. Derek's friends stopped calling. Craig Foster sent one text message. "Sorry, man, but I need to distance myself from this situation." Derek read the message and threw his phone across the room. He had no friends, no fiancé, no reputation. He had lost everything. Except he had 3 sons, sons he never knew about, sons he wanted to meet. Ashley Chen stayed at her parents' house in Queens. She took a week off from work. She cried every day for the first 3 days. Then she stopped crying. She got angry. How could Derek lie to her? How could he say he was infertile when he had 3 children? Her mother made her tea and soup. Her father wanted to call a lawyer and sue Derek. Ashley said no. She just wanted to forget Derek existed. She deleted every photo of him. She threw away every gift. She never wanted to see anything that reminded her of him. On Saturday, the day of Derek's first visit with the boys, Patricia arrived early at Vivian's apartment. The boys were nervous. They wore casual clothes, jeans and t-shirts. Vivian wanted them to be comfortable. "Remember, if you feel scared or uncomfortable, tell Miss Patricia. She will bring you home immediately." "Okay, Mom," Marcus said. Kevin held his blue blanket. "Does our father know we are coming?" "Yes, sweetie. He knows. He is waiting for you at the park." Patricia drove the boys to Central Park. Derek was waiting at the agreed location. It was a playground area with benches and swings. Derek wore jeans and a polo shirt. He looked nervous. He had been thinking about this moment for 2 weeks. What would he say to his sons? How would he act? Patricia parked the car. The boys got out slowly. They held Patricia's hands. They walked toward Derek. Derek saw them coming. 3 identical boys. His sons. He stood up from the bench. "Hello?" Derek said. His voice sounded strange, too loud, too cheerful. "Hello?" Marcus said. Jason and Kevin said nothing. Patricia spoke. "Boys, this is your father Derek. Derek, these are your sons, Marcus, Jason, and Kevin." Derek nodded. "I know their names. I remember from the wedding." An awkward silence followed. Derek did not know what to say. The boys stared at him. Finally, Derek pointed at the playground. "Do you want to play on the swings?" Jason nodded. He loved swings. The 3 boys ran to the playground. Derek and Patricia followed. They sat on a bench and watched. The boys played together. They did not include Derek. Derek watched them and felt lost. After 10 minutes, Derek tried again. "Do you boys like sports?" Jason came over. "I like dinosaurs." "Dinosaurs are not a sport." "I know, but I like them." Derek had no response to that. Jason ran back to his brothers. Derek looked at Patricia. "This is harder than I thought. They do not know you. You need to be patient." "What should I talk about?" "Ask them about school. Ask them about their interests. Listen to their answers." Derek stood up and walked to the playground. He knelt down next to Kevin, who was drawing in the dirt with a stick. "What are you drawing?" Kevin looked up. "A house." "That is nice. Do you like to draw?" "Yes." "What else do you draw?" "Animals, people, trees. You are a good artist." Kevin smiled a little. That was progress. Derek felt encouraged. He turned to Marcus. Your mom said you are good at math. Yes, I like math. What is your favorite subject? Math and science. Those were my favorite subjects too. Marcus looked at Derek with interest. Really? Yes, when I was your age, I loved numbers. This was not true. Derek had been average at math, but he wanted to connect with Marcus. He wanted his son to like him. The 2 hours passed slowly. Derek tried to talk to the boys. They answered his questions but did not ask him anything. They did not call him Dad or Father. They called him Derek. At the end of the visit, Patricia said it was time to go. Can we come back? Jason asked. Derek's face lit up. Yes, I would love that. We can come every month. Okay. The boys waved goodbye. Derek waved back. After they left, Derek sat alone on the bench. The visit had not gone how he imagined. He thought the boys would be excited to meet him. He thought they would hug him and call him Dad. Instead, they were polite, but distant, like he was a stranger. Which he was. Patricia drove the boys home. Vivian was waiting at the apartment. The boys ran to her. How was it? Vivian asked. It was okay, Marcus said. He asked us lots of questions, Jason said. He did not know how to play with us, Kevin said. Vivian looked at Patricia. Patricia nodded. Everything had gone fine. No problems. The boys were safe. That night, Vivian put the boys to bed. Kevin looked up at her. Mom, Derek is our father, but you are our parent. Vivian felt her eyes fill with tears. What do you mean, sweetie? Derek just met us. You have been with us our whole lives. You are our real parent. Vivian hugged him tight. I love you, Kevin. I love you too, Mom. The months passed. Derek had his monthly visits with the boys. Each visit was awkward. Derek did not know how to be a father. He tried to buy their love with gifts. Expensive toys, video games. The boys said thank you but did not play with the toys much. They preferred the simple things: books, crayons, time with their mother. Vivian's business continued growing. She opened 3 new hotels, one in Philadelphia, one in Boston, one in Washington, D.C. The Grandview hotels became known for quality and excellent service. Vivian was interviewed by business magazines. She talked about her company and her success. She never mentioned Derek or the wedding. That was private. Vivian also started a new project. She created the Second Chance Foundation. It was a non-profit organization that helped single mothers start businesses. Vivian provided small loans and business advice. She wanted to help other women who were in situations like she had been. Women who were told they were not smart enough or strong enough. Women who needed someone to believe in them. The foundation became successful quickly. Vivian helped 20 women in the first 6 months. They started bakeries, cleaning services, online stores, and consulting businesses. Vivian was proud of them. She was proud of herself. One day in March, Vivian was at her office when Rachel came in. Mrs. Thompson, there is someone here to see you. She does not have an appointment. Who is it? Ashley Chen. Vivian was surprised. She had not seen or spoken to Ashley since the wedding. Send her in. Ashley walked into the office. She looked different. Her hair was shorter. She wore a professional suit. She looked confident and strong. Nothing like the crying bride from the wedding. Hello, Vivian. Thank you for seeing me. Hello, Ashley. Please sit down. Ashley sat in the chair across from Vivian's desk. She took a deep breath. I came here to say thank you. For what? For stopping that wedding. For showing me who Derek really was. If I had married him, I would have been miserable. You saved me from making the biggest mistake of my life. Vivian smiled. You deserve someone honest, Ashley. I am doing better now. I got promoted at my job. I started therapy. I am dating again. Carefully this time. I learned to see red flags. I am glad you are okay. Ashley stood up to leave. She paused at the door. Your sons are lucky to have you as their mother. Thank you. After Ashley left, Vivian sat quietly. 6 months had passed since the wedding. So much had changed. Vivian looked at the calendar on her desk. March 15th was circled in red. The boy's birthday. They would turn 6 years old tomorrow. 6 years since they were born. 6 years of raising them alone. 6 years of being everything they needed. Vivian called Patricia. Are we ready for the party tomorrow? Yes. I bought decorations this morning. I ordered the cake. It will be delivered at noon. Did you send the invitation to Susan and Richard? Yes. They said they will be there at 2 o'clock. And Derek? Patricia was quiet for a moment. Do you want him there? Vivian sighed. The boys asked if their father could come. I said yes, but he can only stay for 30 minutes, at the end, after the other guests leave. I will tell him. The next day was Saturday. Vivian woke up early and went to the boys' bedroom. They were still asleep. She sat on Marcus's bed and gently shook his shoulder. Wake up, birthday boy. Marcus opened his eyes. He smiled. Is it really our birthday? Yes, you are 6 years old today. Jason and Kevin woke up too. They jumped out of bed, excited. Vivian made them a special breakfast, pancakes with chocolate chips. The boys ate and talked about their birthday party. Will Grandma Susan and Grandpa Richard bring presents? Jason asked. Probably. But remember, presents are not the important part. The important part is celebrating with people who love you. Is Derek coming? Marcus asked. Yes, at the end, for a short time. Kevin looked worried. Will you be there when Derek comes? Yes, sweetie. I will be there the whole time. Patricia arrived at 11 o'clock. She brought boxes of decorations, balloons, streamers, a banner that said, Happy Birthday. The boys helped hang decorations. They taped streamers to the walls. They blew up balloons. The apartment looked festive. At noon, the doorbell rang. It was the cake delivery. Patricia brought the cake to the kitchen. It was chocolate with white frosting. On top it said, Happy 6th birthday, Marcus, Jason, and Kevin. The boys crowded around to look at it. Can we eat it now? Jason asked. Not yet. After lunch, after your grandparents arrive. Susan and Richard arrived at 2 o'clock. They brought wrapped presents. The boys ran to greet them. Susan hugged each boy. Richard shook their hands. They were comfortable with each other now. 6 months of visits had created a relationship. We have presents for you, Susan said, but you have to eat lunch first. Patricia had made sandwiches and fruit. Everyone sat at the table and ate. The boys talked about school. Marcus told them about a science project. Jason sang a new song he learned. Kevin showed them his latest drawings. After lunch, it was time for presents. Susan and Richard gave each boy a gift. Marcus got a book about space. Jason got a book about dinosaurs. Kevin got an art set with special pencils and paper. The boys thanked their grandparents and looked at their gifts carefully. These are perfect, Marcus said. I love dinosaurs, Jason said. Kevin opened his art set and immediately started drawing. Susan watched him with a smile. At 3 o'clock, Patricia brought out the cake. She lit 6 candles. Everyone sang Happy Birthday. The boys blew out the candles together. Vivian cut the cake and served pieces to everyone. They ate and laughed. It was a good party. A happy party. At 3:30, the doorbell rang. Vivian's stomach tightened. She knew who it was. She opened the door. Derek stood in the hallway. He held 3 gift bags. Hello, Vivian. Hello, Derek. Come in. Derek entered the apartment. He saw the decorations and the cake. He saw his parents sitting at the table. He saw his sons with chocolate on their faces. They looked happy. "Happy birthday, boys," Derek said. "Thank you," Marcus said. Jason and Kevin said thank you too. Derek handed them the gift bags. The boys opened them. Inside were expensive toys, remote-control cars, video game systems, things that cost hundreds of dollars. The boys looked at the toys. They said thank you, but they did not look excited. Susan frowned at Derek. She knew what he was doing. He was trying to buy their love. It was not working. Derek sat down at the table. He looked uncomfortable. Everyone was quiet. Finally, Richard spoke. "The boys were telling us about school. Marcus is doing well in science." "That is good," Derek said. He looked at Marcus. "Maybe you will be a scientist when you grow up." "Maybe," Marcus said. More awkward silence. Patricia offered Derek cake. He accepted and ate a small piece. He kept looking at his sons. He wanted them to be excited about his gifts. He wanted them to hug him and call him Dad. But they just sat and ate their cake. After 15 minutes, Derek stood up. "I should go. I have things to do." The boys looked relieved. They did not want Derek there. He made everyone uncomfortable. Derek said goodbye to his sons. He said goodbye to his parents. He said goodbye to Vivian. Then he left. After the door closed, the apartment felt lighter. The boys went back to playing with their new art supplies and books. They ignored the expensive toys Derek brought. Vivian helped Patricia clean up. Susan and Richard stayed for another hour. Then they said goodbye and promised to visit again soon. That night, Vivian tucked the boys into bed. She kissed each one on the forehead. "Did you have a good birthday?" she asked. "Yes," they said together. "I am proud of you. You are growing into wonderful young men." "Mom?" Kevin said. "Yes?" Derek tried really hard today, but it felt fake. Vivian was surprised by Kevin's observation. "What do you mean?" "He gave us expensive presents, but Grandma Susan and Grandpa Richard gave us books. They thought about what we like. Derek just bought expensive things." Marcus nodded. "I noticed that too. Derek does not really know us," Jason added. "Maybe someday he will, but not yet." Vivian felt proud of her sons. They were smart. They understood people. They could see the difference between real love and fake effort. "You are very wise," Vivian said. "All three of you." She turned off the light and went to her own bedroom. She sat on her bed and opened her nightstand drawer. Inside was the wedding invitation from 6 months ago. She took it out and read Derek's message one more time. "I want you to watch me marry someone better." Vivian smiled. Derek wanted her to watch him celebrate. He wanted her to feel small. He wanted her to feel worthless. Instead, she showed him the truth. She showed him she was successful. She showed him he had 3 sons. She showed him that leaving her was his biggest mistake. But more than that, Vivian realized something important. Her victory was not about destroying Derek. Her victory was about building a good life. She raised 3 wonderful sons. She built a successful business. She helped other women through her foundation. She proved to herself that she was smart and capable and strong. Derek tried to make her feel less than him. Instead, she became more than he ever was. Vivian folded the invitation and put it back in the drawer. She did not need it anymore. She did not need to prove anything to Derek. She already proved everything to herself. She got into bed and turned off the light. Tomorrow she would wake up and make breakfast for her sons. She would go to work and run her business. She would live her life. A good life. A life she built with her own hands. Derek was part of that life now. He saw the boys once a month. He tried to be a father. He was not good at it, but he was trying. Maybe someday he would learn. Maybe someday he would become a real father to Marcus, Jason, and Kevin. Vivian hoped so, not for Derek's sake, for her son's sake. But if Derek never learned, that was okay too. The boys had everything they needed. They had a mother who loved them. They had Patricia, who cared for them. They had grandparents who wanted to know them. They had a stable home and a good life. Vivian closed her eyes. She felt peaceful. The wedding was 6 months ago. It felt like a lifetime ago. So much had changed, but the most important things stayed the same. She was still a mother. She was still strong. She was still Vivian. And that was enough. That was everything. In his small apartment in Brooklyn, Derek sat alone. He thought about the birthday party. He thought about his sons. They were polite to him, but they did not love him. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Derek thought about his life 5 years ago. He had money and success. He had a beautiful apartment and expensive things. He thought he had everything, but he did not have what mattered. He did not have real relationships. He did not have love. He did not have family. Now he had 3 sons. But they barely knew him. His parents were disappointed in him. His ex-wife had proven she was better than him in every way. His reputation was ruined. He had nothing left except the chance to try again. The chance to be a better person. The chance to be a real father. Derek did not know if he could do it, but he was going to try, because those 3 boys deserved a father. Even if that father was him, even if he had to learn everything from the beginning. Even if it took years. The story of Derek's failed wedding became a legend in Manhattan. People still talked about it at parties and dinners. They talked about the ex-wife who owned the hotel. They talked about the 3 secret sons. They talked about karma and justice. They said cruelty always has consequences, and they were right. Derek learned that lesson the hard way. He tried to humiliate Vivian. Instead, he lost everything. His pride, his reputation, his chance at a happy marriage. All because he wanted to hurt someone who never did anything wrong. Vivian never sought revenge. She simply lived her best life. She raised her children with love. She built her business with integrity. She helped other women find their strength. That was her revenge. That was her victory. Not destroying Derek, but never letting him destroy her. And in the end, that was the only victory that truly mattered. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen